Oh my gosh, Rihanna. I have the craziest story. Hi Vogue, this is Rosé, and this is my life and looks so far. Okay, this was my first fashion week out in New York. It was the first time I came out here, and I remember being so starstruck with the city and so mesmerized. I think I had never been to Fashion Week before that, so it was just, the whole experience was so much fun. And I was there with Jisoo, which was great because I was with my other member, and I remember being really, really excited to be there. So this was the first week out of the 2 weeks that we performed for Coachella. That's the first look. I know people love the second look, which is like the sparkly look. To be honest, this was my personal favorite, so I've always wanted to talk about this one. I remember when we did the fitting, I was so excited because it was oh my god, it seems so Coachella. We were surprised that they had even invited us to perform in the first place. We've never seen that happen before in history. And so I was definitely really, really worried, but seeing that many people dance and sing and vibe to our song, and just they looked like they were having the best time, I will never be able to forget that moment. I think the outfit really helped because I felt confident in that one. Should I move on? This is my first album cover for On the Ground and Gone. This was the album shoot, and I had received the creative concept for it a few days before. I remember looking at the album concept being really confused as to why they said something something that they would set up for Blackpink. A really big production, it was very dark and strong. And I was it doesn't seem truthful to me. So I remember I called the photographer 2 nights before, and I was this doesn't seem right. And so it was panic. Everyone was panicking. I was it just has to seem a little more personal. I remember we ended up shooting at this set that they had built, a little home, and I brought my my puppy, Hank, and then we had this shot and we felt it was perfect. This was during the video shoot of my first video, On the Ground. It was so cold this day. We had to pretend we were in this big field of flowers. I had to act like I was enjoying it. It was so cold. I have a harness on inside. They lifted me up and everything. It was quite an experience. I didn't actually get to meet any of the fans when my music was out back then. I only got to meet them way after COVID kind of ended. And I remember a lot of people saying these things, and I was wow, people really did like it. And I felt really I was oh my god, I'm so happy people loved it. This was the first Vogue cover I did for Australia. It was a big moment for me because I grew up in Australia. We'd go grocery shopping, and there'd always be the magazine aisle. And I remember always looking at the magazine aisle being wow, these celebrities. And so just to have myself be on the cover of Vogue Australia, that meant a lot to me. I remember back then, when I had left Australia, everyone was where are you going? And I was I didn't know how to explain it, because maybe nowadays, if I'm becoming a trainee in Korea, they'd be oh my god, you're gonna be K-pop? Everybody knows what it is and it's so popular. But back then it was what are you doing? It's fun to see how big K-pop has grown ever since then. Because back then I remember me and a few friends who knew about it would just listen to it privately. But we knew nobody would really understand it. I'm still shocked to this day. And to see so many other K-pop artists do so well. And in June 2022, I was invited to be on the digital cover of Vogue that was guest edited by Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann is a director that I have admired for years. I remember as a trainee, I loved Moulin Rouge. I watched that so many times. Me even dreaming of becoming a singer and a performer. That movie had a lot to do with it because I just admire Nicole Kidman being the spotlight, the fact that Baz Luhrmann had reached out to do this editorial. I was yes, please. I'm so excited, and I was so excited that he was a fellow Australian as well. My first Met, this was a crazy moment. I'd grown up seeing people go to the Met, and it was such a Hollywood thing. I'm so glad I went with Anthony and Saint Laurent. They obviously did such a great job at dressing me. Have I ever told anyone about? I don't think I have. Rihanna. And ASAP Rocky. I saw them inside, but it's not just I saw them. These people come and they ask me, they were like, Rosie, we need to take some short form videos and pictures. And then suddenly somebody comes to me and they're like, Rosé, we're so sorry. Can you just wait like 10 minutes because we need to shoot Rihanna? And I was like, yeah, no, of course, please take all the time you need. And in a second, Rihanna comes in her, like, she was wearing this big like black robe thingy. And then A$AP Rocky walks in. And I'm just sitting behind the camera watching this all happen. And I was like, what is happening? Am I even allowed to be here? One of the security was like, they're like, are you a fan? I'm like, who isn't? He was like, do you want me to try get her to like, you know, do you want to say hi? And I was like, not at all. I was like, don't you dare. And then surprisingly, she doesn't go straight to the door. She comes around the camera, walking past me, and I don't know, I just like stand up. I remember like a queen. And so she's like, she is queen. The guy goes, do you know Blackpink? Do you know Blackpink Rosé? And she literally turns around, grabs both my hands like this. And I'm like, what is happening? And she's like, I know you. You guys are doing so well. Keep up the good job. And she gave me like the biggest hug. I didn't know what to say. I was just like, thank you so much. How crazy is that? I remember being sad, washing my hands. Next look. Yay! One of my favorite moments in New York. And I think I had just gotten that belt. I think that was Alaya. And the pants, I think, is Saint Laurent or... It was Kate. Oh, it was Kate. I got the top right. And the bag was Saint Laurent. And that's the belt's is Saint Laurent. And I can see the shoes is Adidas. Back then I was it was when I was still shocked. I was like, why is there paparazzi? I'm like nobody. I'd love to someday live here for a few weeks. I would love to try that out. I think it'd be so much fun if I could ever do that. So this was LA, the LA show. We liked the shoelaces on these Dr. Martens. I think these are Rick Owen collaboration ones. That top wouldn't stay up. And so I was like, how about we use like shoelace, something that's similar to the shoes, and then tie it back up. Sure, it was long, but it was a lot of fun, for sure. We'd always make sure that everyone like sits well together because we all have such different styles and wants and needs, and so we try to balance it out. This is headlining Coachella. Custom Mugler. It is insane, if I think about it, that they invited us to headline it. But also like Blackpink worked so hard, so I'm like really proud of us. The Hanok, that was in our do video when we were setting up the stage. We wanted something that stood out and something that obviously represented our culture. It has to be big, it has to be bold in the center of the whole thing. I looked crazy, I looked great. Gotta move on. This was also New York. We have a lot of New York moments. For the Rimowa 125th anniversary exhibition, this was Alex Perry and the whole thing was brown. You know what? I don't know if I should say that. I didn't love my hair color. I didn't notice it then, but it was so dark. And then I noticed it after. I was like, why did that become so dark? I wish my hair was a bit more blonde then. This was when we were invited to Buckingham Palace. Blackpink was honored with an MBE for environmental sustainability the day after this. And so that's why we were invited to the dinner event the night before. I remember we were like, we laughed so much in the car. We're like, this is crazy. But we were really glad that we had each other because it was a cute moment. I think that's one of my favorite moments of Blackpink. And I remember saying to the girls, I wish every event was like this. I want to go to every single one of my events with you girls because it was funny, it was fun. We knew how to have fun with it. But then obviously we were very honored. I have the funniest backstory to this one as well. Next time I go to this Vanity Fair's Oscars party, I am definitely going to ask who is attending. I had no idea. I thought I'd do the carpet, walk out, or possibly have my team around me. Apparently not. I get to the door, nobody's allowed to go in, it's just me. And then they kind of left me in this huge room full of celebrities. I do not know anyone here. And I'm walking towards the crowd, getting social anxiety. So if this was like the group of people, I kind of like sat on a couch like right outside of it. I just prayed and prayed that somebody that like I knew would walk by. They didn't. It was like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not even joking. And so like I ran and hid behind this plant. I see like famous people looking at me being like, oh, poor girl. I can see it. It's like it says poor girl on their face. I'm like, please just don't look at, I'm fine. A friend was coming, it was Charlotte Lawrence. She was like, how long are you gonna take? She's like, I'm gonna be there in like 5 to 10 minutes. She finally gets there and she helps me around, but it was the worst 20 minutes of my entire life. But I survived it. And then we went to an after party and it was fun. That's a fun story too. So Charlotte and I are we're in the bathroom at the after party and we're like, okay, we made it. We're here alive. I was like, should I wear these like glasses or should I wear the sunglasses? Like, tell me what looks better. So I was like, I'm gonna have to wear the glasses, otherwise I'm gonna be blind. And I put them on, I was like, what do you think? We were like discussing it and somebody walks out of the bathroom and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but take it off. Somebody says this and we look back and it's Jennifer. And then she looks at me and she's like, oh my God, take it off. Like, as in take the shades off and put it. She's like, just don't talk to my husband in it. Next look. This is for Blackpink, the World Tour movie premiere in Korea. And we were all back in Korea to celebrate our 8th year anniversary, which is huge for us. All moments with all 4 of us, the whole group, it's always a moment and it's always the best moments. Now that I think about it, the Buckingham Palace was one of my favorite memories. That was fun. I like when we get together nowadays because I feel like we've grown up. We have all the experiences built in us, and then we also have our separate moments so that when we come together, we're like, we bond. We bond so much, and you look back on life and you're like, you're my sister. These 3 are the only people who really understand what kind of journey like I've been through, and we actually relate. No one else has the exact same journey. Yes, we definitely have a group chat. Oh, we have like a little emoji. I named it that, but it's like this, you know the emoji with four girls? It's like a family emoji. Nowadays, Jisoo like always goes, who's in Korea, da-da-da, where's everyone in the world? And everyone chimes in. She's the onni, which is the oldest in the group. She takes care of us and it's really sweet. And then like, Lisa says funny things the most. I'm in charge of reactions. Oh my God, laughing, and yeah, my group chat's pretty cute. This is the album cover. I called it Rosie because my friends and family call me Rosie. I think everyone else calls me Rosé, but if you become my friend, it's just like, call me Rosie. It is an album that kind of describes me in a bit more detail, and my personality and who I am, my past 4 years of my life and living through my 20s. And so I hope anyone who listened to this album would feel that much closer to me. There are 12 songs in the album. We may do a deluxe. I want a video for every single one of them. I can imagine a video for every one of them. So, I mean, if you guys are showing the love for a specific song, then maybe. 3 AM was one of the first few picks, and that's always been my favorite. But then ever since then, so many songs were added. Call at the End is the most recent one. So like for a minute, it was Call at the End. And I have this other song for the deluxe, and that was like my favorite. I think I played 3 AM to Lisa once, yeah. She loved it. She was like, Rosie, you know I love these kind of songs. Like Lisa and I have always kind of like, growing up, we like these like mellow songs as well. She was like, I want to hear a full album in your voice. And I was like, thank you so much, you're so sweet. I looked at this group band picture and I was like, I wonder what it would feel like if all those bandmates were me. Because I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. I come from a group, so usually like I take care of this as that person takes care of that, and that member, like we're a group. But then this is just from start to finish me. I just thought that just makes so much sense. It's just like a representation of what this album is. They're all me, and it's like a whole album about Rosie. These are the Rosies. Love Rosie. Thank you so much, Vogue and my number ones. And this has been my looks, my life. And this has been my life. This has been my life. This has been my life and looks. Thank you so much. And until next time, take care. I'm seeing the top camera.